Okay, so today we're going to be learning about special triangles and exact values. So we have special triangle 1, and we have pi over 3, pi over 6, and pi over 2. Then we have pi over 4, pi over 4, and pi over 2. And here are the numbers that we're going to be using to get the exact values using SOHCAHTOA. So let's begin. So I'll give you a minute to write both of these triangles down. We have pi over 6, pi over 3, pi over 2, and then we have 2, 1, and the square root of 3. So that's triangle 1. That's pi over 6, pi over 3 triangle. Okay, and then we have pi over 4, pi over 4, pi over 2, and then 1, 1, and the square root of 2, and that's the pi over 4 triangle. So we're going to use SOHCAHTOA to get the exact values of these special triangles for the 3 angles that we need. So, moving on to the exact values. So for pi over 4, we have root 2 over 2, or 1 over root 2, but we rationalized because we aren't allowed to have the square root symbol on the bottom, so we just rationalized it with root 2. Root 2 multiplied by root 2 over 2. So that's how we got root 2 over 2 for pi over 4. If you're gonna use SOHCAHTOA for pi over 4, it's gonna be opposite and hypotenuse. So that's how we get the 1 over root 2. And we rationalize, so that's how we got root 2 over 2. For cos pi 4, it's root 2 over 2. For tan pi over 4, it's just 1. And then we have sine pi over 3, which is root 3 over 2. We have cos pi over 3, which is half. And we have tan pi over 3, which is root 3. So we have pi over 6. Sine pi over 6 is half. Cos pi over 6 is root 3 over 2. And tan pi over 6 is root 3 over 3. Again, we rationalized. So just multiply by root 3 over 3. And then we got root 3 over 3 to get those, just because we aren't allowed to have square roots on the bottom. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to write all of this down. This is going to be our sort of cheat sheet for when we use exact values for special triangle applications, like determining exact values for expressions or equations. Okay, so we have compound angle formulas. We're also going to be using these for special triangle applications. So we have sine A plus B equals sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. And that's for sine A plus B. We have sine A minus B, which is sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. And that's the sine compound angle formulas. So we have cos A plus B is cos A cos B minus sine A sine B. Notice how the operational sign switches. Then we have cos A minus B, which would be cos A cos B plus sine A sine B. And notice how the operational sign changes. Okay, so we have our exact values listed out, and we're gonna get started. And because it's in the sine quadrant, it's in quadrant 2, 120 degrees, and sine is positive in quadrant 2. It's going to be root 3 over 2. Because as you can see, sine pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. And because it's in quadrant 2, 150 degrees is in quadrant 2, and only sine is positive in quadrant 2, cos is not. It's going to be cos negative pi over 6, which is negative root 3 over 2. Okay, so we figured out how many degrees it is. It's 315 degrees, and it is tan. So it's going to be tan pi over 4. And because it's in quadrant 4 and only cos is positive in quadrant 4, it's going to be negative pi over 4. So we get negative 1 is our answer there, using this one. And because it's in quadrant 3 and only tan is positive in quadrant 3, it's going to be sine negative pi over 6. And sine pi over 6 is a half, so it's going to be negative 1/2. Okay, so that's the last question there. We can move on to compound angle formula questions. So let's get started. I have them all laid out at the top there if you just need to see. And let's begin. Sine pi over 3 is this one. Cos pi over 4 is this one. Cos pi over 3 is a half. And sine pi over 4 is this one. And here's our answer. Okay, moving on. Cos pi over 3 is a half. Cos pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. Sine pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. And sine pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. There's our answer. Moving on. Again, I have them all written out at the top, just in case you need them. If you didn't know, because it's in the second quadrant, only sine is positive in that quadrant. I did cos negative pi over 3, and then I did sine pi over 3 because sine 2 pi over 3 is positive in the sine quadrant. So when we're determining the exact value, it's going to be positive for sine and negative for cos. And there's our answer. So sine pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. Cos pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. there's our answer. So that's all that we have for today. I am going to look into doing larger trigonomic equations that need exact values to determine a final answer. I'm going to look into more complicated questions for us to do. But that's all I have for today, and I hope you enjoyed watching, and thank you very much.